Hey everyone, back at it with some more chess. Do y'all ever have a game that makes you question your life choices so much you have to sleep on it and come back to it the next day because that's how much you suck at chess? Because, well, let's get started here. So we got some classic early queen attacks. I'm not worried. I know my way around these enough where it's like I'm gonna win tempo in this, so this is fine. I keep developing. He offers this trade. I take push to start. I'm looking at this. I'm thinking I'm going to be castling soon, getting the rook defending this. I can bring this guy here, just keep bullying the queen and developing. Winning tempo, life is good, right? He brings the bishop out. I bring this out. Cool. So now the move you're supposed to make if you're not me is you're supposed to push this pawn. Because if you push this pawn, you got a fork, and then it's take, and they're not taken back. So you end up being, considerably up. But if you're me, you just see this as a trade, and you take the trade, simplify, whatever. So that was a miss. Not the worst thing in the universe. This game gets much worse than that. Um, but just a simple little mistake. Cool. So I just keep going, keep developing. I bring the pawn back or the bishop back because I'm thinking of this to just keep bullying the queen. So that is what I do. And then with this coming in, I don't like the possibility of this happening, so I tend to block those right there. So then in this position, you can see I am up because if you're smart, you don't play this move. If you're smart, what you do is you take because you realize that you can skewer, and from there you got all sorts of fun with this synergy where his pawn ended up, and this skewer where you end up, bringing this out, skewering this. They block with the bishop. You got all sorts of fun where you just end up in a simplified position where you are like completely developed and the opponent is still in the Stone Age. So like if you're smart, you don't play this move, but I am not smart. So this is the second time this game I just throw all of my advantage away. Um, so we keep going here. I'm like, all right, let's get the queen out, connect the rooks, let's keep her moving. Um, and so that's what I do. This I don't know. This was like, let's start some kind of attack. Really no plan because I saw either of these things coming, and I don't know, but it is what it is. At this move, that's when I realized I just gave them a wall for free by encouraging this pawn. So it's like, okay, I gotta find a way. All of my pieces are staring at the light squares that these pawns got locked down. So I gotta find something, maybe find a way to break through or, get some movement going, something smart, right? So what I do is I blunder this pawn because I completely forgot. I was so focused on the light diagonal that I forgot the dark squares are locked down by the queen. And so he just saw that and sniped that, and that's good for him. So then I kick him out, and he backs up. Perfect, decision on his part there. And so now I start moving the knight on over to get all of that rotating in. Now he plays this. And now the analysis board has some insane things. So I went in to like game review for this. That's how bad this game was. Is it was so bad I actually used my game review for a bad game rather than using it to stroke my own ego for a game where I do well. So like there's some crazy strats in this position where like you see this, I just ignore that. I win tempo by attacking the queen and then I like come here threatening this fork with my queen, which by the way, I do not see this fork until it's way too late. And so threatening that fork they can't take, they actually got to bring the knight up to defend, at which point I can retake. And then there's some crazy nonsense where I end up winning this pawn. So that's why it's up one. I end up winning this pawn because of this move. Go figure, I never would have seen that in a billion years. Instead, I see, okay, you are coming in, you are trapping my light square bishop, so let's bring the bishop back. Now with this move, again, apparently I have strats with this fork that I just don't see rooted on this weak pawn because I am blind. That's why I am up here. But what I see is I see, okay, this is coming and threatening the bishop. This is coming as revealed on my queen. Why don't I just let you do both of those things at once rather than making one of those decisions? I think my brain saw this coming, and my usual way to block that is always to push the pawn, and I didn't connect that I had also seen this. And so I just boom, I just give him the discover fork that also pins that like this is insane. Um and then this is where I lose all hope in myself. Is this is actually a misclick. I had clicked my queen to obviously to move my queen out of the way, and that's when I wanted to go like here or something. And instead I misclick and I just give him my queen for free. So it's like, okay, this is the worst possible thing. So I keep going. It's at this point that I see this. So I'm like, hey, let's, or maybe it's not at this point. It's soon. Soon I remember that this exists. First I get bullied a little bit. Oh yeah, I trade when I'm down, because I didn't, I did this move for some reason instead of recognizing how trapped I am because of this guy. So okay, I'm forced to trade when I'm down on material. That's great. Love doing that. Um, and then just keeps assaulting my king, which makes sense. Now I see the fork. So it's like, okay, at this point, I'm feeling almost okay. Like I blundered my queen, have made some serious tactical errors, but I'm up a rook, so that's fine. We get some takes, brings the queen in, makes sense. Now, in this position, I have this genius move of, hey, that's a free pawn. I can take that pawn. What I don't see is the fork that's the same exact fork I had used earlier. I don't see that. And so I lose a rook. So I'm just completely down. This is promoting. Like I can pretend to do some things, but like somehow, some way that's happening. Like I'm sort of screwed. This was I don't know what this was. At this point, I sort of stopped trying because I'm like, all right, I'm just out of here. Maybe if I just keep giving the king checks. Apparently, this check is M8, but so I'm just completely screwed here. But if I just keep checking the king, at some point something magical will happen. This is the move I completely gave up on. I'm like, look, if I try to do something here, like cool, you know, it's over for me. He hasn't even activated these two. This rook hasn't moved and is completely trapped, and he is winning. That is how poorly I have played this game. He's not even using two of his pieces, and he is completely beyond me. That is how bad this is. So I just moved some pieces in. I'm like, all right. I didn't even see this. I didn't like. Come on. But whatever. I don't even bother taking back. I'm like, I'm out of here, right? And that's because I am, and because I lose. Um, oh, I love chess, but like, man, man.